All right, welcome to Legend Legends podcast, week 4 of the LCS. Started off, got some EU news.
Tell us about it.
So we've had a bit of a wild roller coaster this week with Forgiven stepping down mutually from the Shulka starting roster. And at first, everyone had the reaction of, why is he stepping down? He should really just be kind of playing out the split. He should really just, like, just get back into it. He hasn't been playing for, like, 3 years, so why is he just, why is he being so, I don't know, what's the word for it? Snobbish about it? What do you think, Hamon?
Snobbish doesn't quite sound.
Snobbish is not the right word.
Sad. I really wanted Forgiven to stay there. He really wanted to prove that he was one of the best AD carries, and it just didn't show on Shaka while he was there. For a couple reasons, there was Gilius wasn't really the best jungler out there, and for some reason, the team just didn't gel enough. And then, another person steps in, and then straight win. Not just against any team, too.
We haven't gotten there yet. We're still talking about Forgiven's weak decisions.
Yeah, so he stepped down. I get it. I understand. I don't know if he's gonna get picked up by this was kind of his shot to come back and show them everyone like, oh, what's a good AD carry? I'm a good AD carry. And I don't know. He's got to find another place to go now.
All right, so you got a player who's been out for 3 years, coming back in, getting on a not so great team. What do you think they should do? How do you think they should handle the situation of being on this kind of below average team, especially given their history?
Shulka 04 LLoL roster. I actually have no idea who else is on the team. I literally don't know who's on the team.
Who's on the team doesn't really matter.
Well, who's their other bot lane?
I think it was Otawame, Gillian.
No, I got the roster up. So what was the question, Anthony? I got the fucking roster. Hang on. What was the question?
So for a player in Forgiven's position,
fucking rappers late, hey man, because of you.
So
in a player with Forgiven's position.
What do you think that they should really do something like this, or like how
is anyone surprised Forgiven is acting like this?
No, not really.
Let's cast our memories back to when Forgiven was. No, let me finish. Let's cast our mind.
I thought this was pretty tame. Okay.
Let me finish, dude. What are you doing? Okay, so can I talk now? So anyway, has a lot of dead air. If we cast our minds back to the last time Forgiven was in the LEC proper, he did not exactly have a reputation for being like a nice or reasonable person to deal with, right? Like, he's extremely aggressive, extremely competitive, and he talked a lot of shit. The fact that this is happening, not at all surprising to me. This is just sort of what he's like. And the fact that anyone would be surprised by that is shocking to me at this point, or they're new to the scene. Which, fine, if you're new to the scene, you might not know everything, whatever. Do I think he should act like this? Probably not. I think it was a lot more reasonable I think it was a lot more understandable for him to act like this, or for people to have these kinds of attitudes in the early days of competitive League of Legends and in the early days of LEC, LCS formalization. I think as we're trying to get more sort of serious as a sport, a lot of these like childish attitudes are not great. Which is not to say that other sports don't have these issues. Of course, notable football players, basketball players sort of act peculiarly all the time. But I think in League in the early days, this was kind of like more normal. But now I think it's probably bad, and I think it probably shines really badly on him as a player and might dissuade other teams from picking him up unless they're in like a really desperate situation. Because this kind of behavior is not great for team dynamics. Like, in any sport. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't think even in the past this would have been too good. Like ever since the formation of the LCS,
That's true.
like who cares that you're on the last place team? If you really are one of the best AD carries in the league, you can still like show.
You can get a 10th place team to like 8 or a 7 with a top AD carry.
Like if he was actually that good at the moment, he would be able to play well and still make it through this split. But it doesn't matter at this point. He's stuck on Schalke unless they somehow trade him to another team, which who the fuck's going to take him right now? Nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
No one's going to take him. He lost 6 games in a row, and it's just like, we have wins. You don't. I just don't see him. So, what else happened in the EU this week is that G2 went 0-2. And not only did G2 go 0-2, but they lost to Schalke, who had just benched Forgiven. So they lost to Misfits, who Misfits looked really good in their game against G2. We don't have to go too deep into that, but I gotta say they did look really good. And then they lost to Schalke. It just the top and the bottom of this table, by the way. I think Misfits is second right now, and Schalke is still dead last or tied for dead last. No, someone's below them. Somebody actually has 0 wins.
Misfits, it was somewhere like in the middle of the pack. Not too high, but still somewhere around there.
But it just, I don't know if this is Schalke's turning point per se. I haven't been watching them all split. I don't really know if this is a big sign or if they just got super lucky and caught G2 on a bad day because G2 looked like they were having a bad day. Misfits are tied for first with G2.
Oh. Yeah, they really rose up from the ranks there.
Yeah, and then Vitality's the only team below
actually
Schalke.
thought they were.
So what do you,
I really thought they were lower, but
what do you guys take on this with G2 going 0-2 and Schalke beating them in one of those games with after just dropping Forgiven?
This is this one's problems that you kind of run into when you have G2 being as good as they are. All of a sudden they have an 0-2 week. It's gonna really turn around to how they take on the next week, and if they come in like, oh hey, we're gonna get serious, we're gonna play, and we're actually going to like dominate these games. Because before,
hang on. Did we lose
I
Hamon?
put a
Hamon, you cut out
in the
for
bot
a good
lane.
20.
So-
Hamon, you cut out for like a good 20
So what I did is I
seconds.
changed the server because that fixed all the lagging problems.
Well,
We're in US Central and I can't hear Hamon at all. He's a robot.
Yes, I know.
And he can't hear us. He's not stopping.
Because it's still rolling back his old clip.
He could play carry again.
Hang on.
And he probably would have been pretty damn decent.
I can't hear you, Matt. What's happening? Maddie, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah, well, I'm on push to talk, so that's
Okay.
why. I switched back to East.
Oh, why?
Oh, I thought we were not supposed to be on Central.
No, I moved us to Central to try to fix the problem because Hamon was still lagging before that. Oh no. Hamon, disconnect.
Okay,
Wait. we
I
back?
should be connected. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. It's like I said, I don't have an actual dongle. I still am using
It's
like
not the network. No, no.
plugin.
We tried to move the server because everyone was lagging. But I think we're okay now,
Oh,
so go.
just everyone. Okay. All right. What I was saying was that G2 didn't really have the opportunity. Didn't really get challenged most of the time in their games, and I'm happy they had these losses actually, because I do want to see them be more serious. The second one against Misfits is a bit more worrying than the one against Shock. But But the fact that they did lose to both of these teams, it's not so great. I do want to see what they do in the coming weeks because this is more of a mentality problem and an actual how do we work harder, how do we get better, how do we improve problem when you're already kind of one of the best teams out there. So I don't think this is going to keep them down for 2 weeks. That's it.
I'm hoping this is the beginning of the end for G.
Oh, you're hoping for a roster implosion.
Hell yeah. I want it to explode. I want him to desperately switch Caps back to mid lane and Perks back to AD carry, and then just keep falling and falling and falling, just like TL.
Just like TL.
Two giants.
That's what
falling.
It comes down to. In the same split. Okay.
That's what I want to see. All right. I think that's good for the EU topic. Now I'm gonna try moving the server again. Oh, now we're back on Central. Okay,
I moved us back before.
Okay, that's what was going. Matt's still a pixel, but whatever.
That's just me, I guess.
Amon's not as bad as he was on the other one. All right. So let's move on to the other small bit of news that's quite impactful. Zen's 100+ KDA dream is dead. Thank you, Mr. FlyQuest. Goodbye, 100 KDA. Let's go. Matt, how do you feel about your
Bro, we're still in first, and we clapped your bum ass, so I don't feel that bad.
Next topic. Hang on.
I mean, it sucks because it would have been super sick to see the 100 KDA dream. Obviously, that would be rad as hell. But I mean, Zen's still playing crazy out of his mind. Well, C9 still crushing him. I feel pretty g-dang good as a fan, to be honest.
It's cool to see these little things happen, and I'm a little sad that we didn't get to see him set this record. But at the same time, oh my god, nobody could kill him twice. It took 4 weeks for him to die twice. Like, Jesus Christ. And he was on MF too, and it's like, well, any team can kill MF if they pick 4 divers. You just dive MF. Yeah. She'll die. You might lose, but she dead.
You would think that. You would think that.
You see, here's the thing: is that at some point, if I'm a coach and I'm just like, hey, you guys want to just kill Sven? We can just kill Sven and dive him early, and we just do that. And then we just kill Sven over and over and over again and ruin his KDA. Just to be the team that ruins his KDA. I'd love to do that.
On?
This is why I'm not a coach.
Okay. Alright.
There's nothing I like more. The only thing I like more than seeing really like record-setting events is seeing people stop record-setting events.
Just to be the one there to be like, alright, we ruined this one player's KDA. He could have had a better split. We just decided he shouldn't.
Let's move on to talking about this week's results. Matt coming out hot, 7-3.
I actually didn't even know I did this well. That's it. I just didn't know I did this well. I don't know. I kind of forgot. Typically, when I watch the LCS of the weekends or the VODs, I don't usually even remember who I picked in a lot of them. Of course, I remember picking C9 over TSM. But if you asked me in the middle of Dig Golden Guardians who I picked, I'd be like, I don't know. I kind of call it and then let it lie. So I never.
I'm not gonna pick Dignitas over Golden Guardians.
That's fair. Example. I mean, but you know what I mean. Like, other than like the really big notable matches, I kind of just don't. I don't go through the LCS thinking like, all right, I picked this one, I'm right. I picked this one, I'm wrong on the. Like, I just don't do that. So I typically like make the picks before the podcast, talk about them, and then don't think about it until next podcast. So I was surprised. I was surprised as Anthony that I did this well.
It'll happen.
Haymon knows I'm a god.
Now Haymon coming in with the hot 4 and 6.
Oh.
How's that one feel, Haymon?
It burns a little bit. I had a bit more faith in my boys at CLG.
Never
and
have faith in
apparently
CLG. It's counter logic, Haymont.
it's counter logic. It's counterintuitive.
Do you not watch? Do you not watch this or that? I believe it was Jat who pointed out that, or maybe it was Kobe, but someone pointed out that CLG, when you predict them to do well, just tanks, and when you predict them to tank, they come out swinging and crush. So, like, whatever you predict they're going to do, they do the opposite.
All I've wanted every split is just for both FlyQuest and CLG to do well. Both FlyQuest and CLG to do well. And every split, it hasn't happened.
Why would it?
It hasn't happened.
I'll admit, I had CLG much higher than dead last this split, but they seem to be out there to prove me wrong. They're countering my logic real good. Hey, at least TL beat them this week, because that would have been awful. If TL lost to CLG and IMT, oh my god. I would be like, there's nothing that will save this team. This team is barely making playoffs. But
yeah, nope.
There's hope. I can still see some hope in their eyes. Maybe next week they'll run out of hope. But alright, so
okay.
Alright, so on the topic of TL, one of the matches we wanted to kind of focus on was TL versus IMT, because that to me was a pretty decent match. IMT came out on top, and they came out with a pretty good early game that really shut down Broxah, because at level 3, Broxah goes to invade and dies because he was spotted on a ward from Hakuo. I almost said Ignar.
Mm-hmm.
But IMT
are
died
both crazy
once.
supports.
They died once this game.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. Hey, what'd you think?
Honestly, it was a crazy good game from Xmithy. It was a crazy good game from Hakuo, and that it was just solid all around. So as was on. What was crazy actually was how Hakuo managed to find his way to slip away during the laning phase just to get these picks. Like you saw Xmithy show up on a ward. Doublelift's like, oh, fine, I'm gonna use my Q on Callista to go hop over into this Krug's pit, and all of a sudden a hook out of nowhere appears from the bush right next to it, and Doublelift just dies. The fact that Hakuo is able to roam this much is really amazing, and we have to credit both Hakuo and Altec for staying safe on that Ezreal pick, which hasn't been something that other teams have picked up or have been willing to play.
That gank he had on them after Xmithy got caught over by Dotbush, he just nukes Doublelift out of nowhere. That was fucking amazing. I could not believe they pulled that out, and they got really tight on that timing with Tarek Ultimate. If that landed, they were just screwed, and Ezreal probably died.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have too many problems with the draft this game. I kind of wish that this is the game where they had Ornn and
they had
they had Ornn and Ryze.
They had Callista.
I wanted them to swap Ornn and Ryze and put Ryze top lane, and then just have Ryze beat Gangplank. But instead, they kind of let Gangplank scale a little bit, and no one could really deal with him. Jensen keeps trying to side lane, and it wasn't going too hot.
Oh, hey, guess what happens when you build just a bit of MR on Gangplank? What? Can you tell me what happens there, Anthony?
Nothing, because he only built Merc Treads. He didn't need the MR. He just cleared waves.
Yes! And with that, he was still able to take a 1v1 against the Ryze and had forced Jensen to flash. Something that Huni did not do in a game earlier in the split.
Well, Ryze didn't really go for the super high damage build because he's got Rylai's and Righteous Glory. He was really... I don't really know what he was trying to do with this build. It's a bit of an earlier game build, not going for the super late game, and it's trying to duel GP, But even then, GP was so much further ahead of him that it wasn't even a contest. Like, they just really couldn't do anything because Broxah kept getting blasted. Their bot lane got blasted. Altec and Hawkwo looked like monsters this game by comparison to Double and Core JJ. I do not like Kalista Taric. I don't like that. Matt, what do you think about Kalista Taric?
I think it's actually fine. It's not the best bot lane in the world right now, but I think I actually think it's a pretty good combo. If you're using Taric ult as you should be, which is offensively to start fights, you can Taric ult with Kalista linked. Your Kalista's probably with the rest of your team. You throw Taric in, that means you're getting a knock up, and when those people are no longer knocked up, Taric is invincible, which makes it a lot easier for him to land his stun off the knock-up. Makes him a lot more likely to survive. I think it's actually a pretty solid lane combo as well. It's really, really easy to land your land your Taric stun with your Kalista's ability to hop around. Do I think it's the strongest lane right now? No. Do I think it's like top 3 strongest lanes right now? No. I do think it's a legitimate pick, though.
Well, the AD carriers they had banned
Who was up?
They banned MF, Felios, and Zaya.
That all makes sense.
And I can see picking Kalista here, but I don't know why you don't go with Thresh. Why don't you pick Thresh into Ezreal? That seems like a good pick. They had fucking Cassio too. I feel like there's like better picks they could have had, especially given how poorly they used Taric. Taric was rather bad because they never got a good ult off. They got one good ult off in a fight in mid lane that it resulted in no one dying. That's it. Just nobody died. And then IMT still just closed out the game and broken in him. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the draft is okay, but Lee Sin into Sejuani, who I'm pretty sure they saw Sejuani when they wanted to pick Lee Sin. But I don't know why you pick that here. I think you're much better off picking. Is they ban Trundle? No, Trundle's up. Pick Trundle. Trundle's a good pick into Sejuani. Or pick something else. Pick Kindred here. You're going for late game. Let's go for late game. I don't know. I don't think you pick Kindred with Kalista though.
No, I think you pick a solid frontliner who you can put in the jungle.
Yeah. The problem is Skarner's not good. Like, I don't... Like, Xin Zhao's not great either. I think it's Trundle. I think Trundle's the pick here. But, hey, you gotta give Broxah his Lee Sin in the first game for him to end on. You saw that play where he tries to go in on Cassio in the bot lane, and he just gets fucking flashed by both of his targets. So now he's stuck in the middle of the team, and Taric hadn't ulted, so he doesn't have Taric ult, and he just dies. And then they have the Taric ult to retreat. Oh my god. That's the whole game.
It was a very bad look.
That one fight is the entire game right there. Broxah goes to make a play, Taric doesn't do his job, and then they lose. That's this whole game, and it's kind of telling of TL's problem. Like, the problem seriously seems like it's in the bot lane where Doublelift is not performing, and I don't know if that's motivations or not. Like, they are. No, TL didn't go OT. Why did I write that?
No, they did not go OT. They beat CLG.
They beat CLG. Yes. Okay. I didn't mean to write that then.
Are you talking about TSM going OT? Oh, that's
no, I don't
the
know
next
why
topic.
I wrote TL going OT, but it's whatever. So, what did you think about the TL's game against CLG, Real?
They just beat them pound for pound.
Yeah, to me it just looked like CLG fell over.
Yep, just a kind of outclassing.
It looks like everyone who plays against CLG, except for IMT, apparently. Well, I don't know how IMT won that game, but boy, did they luck out. What team did CLG beat? Golden Guardians? No, they played them this week.
CLG... Probably GG earlier on?
No, they played them this week, so they couldn't have played them earlier.
Hmm. Which team did
Evil
CLG
Geniuses.
beat? Oh, okay.
Is this the game where they backdoor? I don't remember.
Nor do I.
I don't know, but CLG has just been a speed bump for every team. So I'm not if C9 lose to them next week, I will die laughing. That's all I'm saying.
I'll just die.
All right, so let's move on to C9 versus TSM. Oof. All right. Matt?
So which one of you is biting the bullet first?
No, you're biting the bullet first, Matt. How'd you?
I'm
feel?
not biting. I don't have a bullet to bite. I was right. I'm looking for justifications for these awful
then I'm
calls.
giving you a grandstand. Stand on it. Come on.
I don't want a grandstand. I want to hear you grovel and apologize
Grovel?
for your mistake.
What mistake? You mean my team being too stupid to pick a good comp, so they picked a Kali and gave up set?
Yes. That's exactly what I mean, actually. Why?
I don't know why anyone would do that. I don't like Nautilus and MF. I don't like MF in general. I feel like her immobility.
MF's actually very good.
Her immobility
crazy
makes her
good.
feel so bad to me.
I mean, I guess,
Um,
but she does so much fucking damage. Like,
if she winds up in a corridor, if she winds up around an objective fight, she can just sit down and ult, and it's pretty crazy good.
you don't even need her ult to do that all that damage. Like, her auto attacks are actually just fucking crazy right now.
That love tap really.
Yes. You get a fucking Essence Reaver and in lane, like early, you can like auto the enemy champion, like for love tap or Q them, and you literally do like a third of an AD carry's HP at level like 6. It's crazy.
I don't know.
Early.
I don't know why they
Bjergsen
decided
was
to pick
on Renekton.
Renekton and a Kali top lane into set. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
neither.
Renekton does great into set. That's one of my counter picks to set. Why aren't we running that? Instead, we're running with a Kali too for some reason.
A Kali top.
Well, no, I meant you can swap these around. But why are we picking a Kali here? What the fuck is she gonna give us? No one's that fucking good at a Kali. No one in NA is that good at a Kali. Where you're like, you know what? If we got a Kali, it would end the fucking game. Like, we're banning Soraka and shit too. It's like, it's not that broken.
Correct.
Just kill it. No, it's really broken. But like, I
thought you meant the Akali's not that broken.
I don't understand. Also, why did C9 ban Syndra? What the fuck? What is that ban? Go ahead, Hema.
For the Renekton pick, it has been played as a counter pick specifically to Kiana in the early game. That's the only reason why I'm saying it.
But then why didn't they make it lane against it?
It did. They put Renekton against Kiana.
You're right. I thought you were talking about Kali and a Kiana. I was just not listening to you.
It did well. You know, they got 3-1 at one point. 1-3, whichever way that you want to flip it. TSM was up for it. And then we got to the team fighting.
Well, hang on. Let's just put the team fights blame where it belongs, squarely on the MF and Gragas, who just never were on the same page, and every single time MF hit ult, Gragas did too, and
it was great.
Oh my god, I was so disappointed. So disappointed in that bullshit ass fucking ult. Never.
There was a lot of going wrong for TSM this game.
Never pick those two together again, TSM. That is the worst thing I've ever seen a team do. And I've seen you play this game for years, TSM. Oh my. Why?
Yeah.
So much.
Oh man, I see you guys are having a little trouble with that misfortune. Let me get you out.
Oh, are you about to kill Set? Let me just push him away a little bit. You don't need that kill. We'll get him later, guys. Oh shit.
TSM even get a Drake this game?
No. They got one turret the whole game.
Oh yeah, but they got bot lane tier 1. Did they even get a Herald?
No.
Yeah, they did.
They did get a herald?
Yeah,
This game,
they got the first herald.
this
Well, I'm
This game
looking
was
at
a
the
crack.
highlight, and I'm looking at Gragas's trinket, be purple. So other than the first tower and that, I don't think they got really any objective. That's crazy.
Here's my other problem. Is that
Like every lane lost.
no,
Head-to-head.
C9 have 3 AD champions. Why the fuck is there no tank?
You don't need a tank against AD champions.
Why not?
also
Because you're trying to lose. Because that's what the script says to do.
you're
Fucking
right.
Go
that
write your
definitely
undefeated
does sound-
season in a different league.
Here, the thing was, you could have just picked the Syndra mid lane, and it would have been fine.
I don't know that.
does
That
really
doesn't
well.
solve the tank
Syndra's
problem.
banned.
And also that doesn't
Syndra
solve the
was
tank
banned?
problem.
Syndra's banned on
Oh,
blue
okay.
side. By C9.
So no, Hamon, they could
Syndra's
not
banned.
have.
Which is why they didn't leave it
Okay.
up. Because I'm pretty sure Syndra might be a counterpick to Kiana.
Yeah, it's a really punishing matchup very early on. It hurts a lot.
So TSM have been doing this a lot. They went 0-2 this week. Who was their second game against?
FlyQuest.
FlyQuest. They lost to FlyQuest, and FlyQuest looked a bit more contentious, but still, they keep picking these super aggressive team comps. Like the next day, they end up picking Taliyah and Pantheon. I hate Taliyah and Pantheon. Please don't pick that shit. I don't care if it's like Mark Z and Jat were talking about, where it's something you're trying to practice and get good at to be good at in the future, playing like super aggro, super fast. It's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can't get these globals down like in a few games, I don't really think you're ever gonna get these globals down. Like, this isn't the same thing as Jarvan and Galio, where the combo is I press R, then you press R on the same target. That's brain dead. That's easy. Now what you're training is when and where you should choose to target it, and like trying to force the team around it. That's a different thing to train. This one is like, how the fuck are you supposed to put together Pantheon Ultimate and Taliyah Ultimate? What?
Yeah.
They actually didn't look too bad. They were doing everything that their comp was supposed to do. They attacked the side lanes. They forced.
But
I
then they go
believe
too
they
late.
killed.
They go too late. Why are
Viper
they
once.
going too late? They keep doing this.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
You can't
They
go
make
late.
a couple mistakes. They just make a couple mistakes in the mid game, and it winds up being very punishing. One of them was, okay, they want to take the fight for a dragon, but they also have Kabe mid lane farming, and then just get engaged on. And unfortunately, Biofrost Braum Shield cannot block all of those ultis at the same time. It cannot block both the I'm forgetting the cat's name right now.
Yumi.
It cannot block the Yumi ult at the same time that it's also blocking the Misfortune ult at the same time
No, it
that
can
the
block
Ornn
the
ult
MF
is
and
coming
Uni ult.
down.
It can't block the Ornn ult and any of the other two. So
No, it can also block the Ornn ult.
No,
It's
it
just
can't.
that you have to choose.
No, you block
Yes.
the Ornn ult backwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it can't block,
block the
Yumi
Ornn.
and Ornn.
Okay, my point being is that after your shield goes down, you can't stop all of these incoming ultis. You can't stop this wombo, like all the parts of this wombo from happening. And good on Santorin and good on Ignar. Even though Santorin was put behind in the early game, he was the mobility bot. He just carried Yumi over to start those fights off. And they really held it out. Like held their ground in the mid game and came back in the mid game for
What do you mean
FlyQuest.
held their ground?
And
They
TS
got all but one of the Drakes. TSM had an 8.5k gold lead, and they got one Drake. What the fuck? Who does that?
Oh no!
Who fucking does that? I don't.
Like I said,
What is this gameplay where we get like almost a 10k gold lead and we get one Drake? What if I did that in a game? I'm like, I fucked up. I failed miserably. What? That's how I end games. Why is everyone so
Yes.
adverse to getting Drakes with their leads? It's this weird ass philosophy where you don't get drakes and instead you get turrets because you want to just get 4 of the same drake to get the. Why? Who just get the drakes and then get an elder then end the game? You're on an early game comp. I get it. Herald's worth a lot, but it's only worth a lot the first time. Oh.
To ask, what were the first 2 drakes in that?
Cloud and Soul or Infernal.
Cloud and okay.
I tried to say Solar.
Yeah, I heard you say so. So I do understand that, but the priority seems to be okay. We'll take this. The 8-minute Herald has been a priority for all of the teams in the LCS currently, and it's just been one of the better plays. But to bring it back a little bit, even though the bot lane and the top lane were suffering, there was a point where Wild Turtle was 0-0-0 and still matching Kabe and farm, even though Kabe had like an assist or something up. So even though they did target the side lanes and put them behind, at some point they didn't put them behind enough to actually get that lead.
I mean, there's no putting them behind when
It
they
wasn't
can get thousands of free gold from Ornn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think did Cloud9 have Ornn? No, they banned Ornn. But they've done this in a different game where they go super late against Ornn, and it's just like, what are you doing? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going late? You need to charge so much harder. And I'm not saying they 100% could have, but they clearly were pressuring wrong, and they didn't crack the base properly. Like their neutral control was garbage. I don't understand what they were trying to do with this hyper aggressive comp that's supposed to like force you to make decisions and force you to play the game. It's just I don't want them to run this shit if they're just gonna mishandle it like this. Keep playing it in scrims. Don't whip it out on stage. Get wins.
Mm-hmm. Also, another point. Power of Evil was not hindered at all. That
Power of Evil was crazy this game. Yeah,
he was like that's like I said. I put this one more on FlyQuest being a bit more resilient because even though TSM's attacking the side lanes, they're like FlyQuest is just communicating, no, don't come here. You'll either get caught in transition or something along those lines. Just stay mid and farm. And Power of Evil becomes crazy strong in the mid game because he's just been sitting mid and farming.
So Kabe in this FlyQuest game made Felios look balanced.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
But that's because
did he look
made Felios look balanced. R.I.P.
He could do nothing. He got off like a 3-man ultimate and it did nothing. Oh my God. He got a 4-man fucking Infernum Q and it did nothing.
I mean, he was just behind. God.
He wasn't behind. They had an 8k gold lead.
I mean, he was just behind.
You
gotta be behind if you're making a Felios look bad.
But also, did you see how crazy Ignar was that game? The amount of healing he gave those tanks.
And late game Yuumi is crazy. I'm just so disappointed how many times they're gonna go late and early. Oh, it was IMT. Was the other team the 60-minute dream game, that one?
Oh, that was a wonderful one.
Oof, wonder.
Anyhow. But yeah, the Taliyah and the Pantheon were probably not the draft pick to make. I do want them to start transitioning from like these early game team comms to something more of a mid-late game. Just give yourself some scaling. Give yourself some.
Just don't take 0 scaling options or only have one with 0 frontline. That's what happened to them against Cloud9. They had no frontline. If you don't have a frontline, you can never team fight. Matt, how do you feel about team fighting without a frontline?
As an AD carry, I hate it. As a fan of assassin junglers, I hate it. I'm not a fan of assassin junglers. It sucks. Team fighting without a frontline is really hard, and not in an interesting way. It just sucks. Is that what you wanted to hear? Because it's
I don't know.
That's
about right.
Mhm.
I still hate MF. I still effing hate MF.
It's hey, Biofrost can only do so much. He really tried his hardest. That Braum
Biofrost
shield
had
does
some
not
awful
last.
shields. He had some awful shields this game. You always go for the fucking Ornn ultimate. The Ornn ultimate has the most damage and the most CC.
No, he was stopping those Misfortune ultimates.
Well, because
He was the one who had to
normally it was
shield up to
after the
block
Braum
the
ultimate
Yumi.
or the Ornn ultimate.
It was like I said, he had to make the choice, and it was either you block one of the three, you block maybe two of the three at best, but the third one's always going to get through.
I think Yasuo actually probably would have been okay in this game.
Don't ever say that again, please.
He counters Syndra. Honestly, I hate Talia. I think Talia's garbage.
You think everything is bad?
It's because I only like good things.
No, it's just because you're wrong. Talia's fine.
I mean, I think Jarvan's good. Got banned. I think Zoe's good. She got banned. I think LeBlanc's good. She got banned. All the things I think are good. Are
they really were just like. They really were just like. Bjergsen should have pulled out the Vigar. There we go. There's the answer.
Vigar dies to Syndra.
And also, you're an idiot.
Alright. Let's go talk about this next thing we have lined up. Golden Guardians are looking pretty okay now. What do you guys think of them this weekend?
Trash! No, they're fine. They're fine.
They beat TL last week.
Trash. Oh yeah, it's so hard to beat TL. Bro, I could beat TL in no world. I can't beat TL.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think our Clash team's chances are against TL?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Yep.
Our Clash team?
That's not the confidence I needed, Matt. Come on.
Sorry, which era TL?
This one.
We're crushing them.
Yeah, let's go.
We're crushing them, bro. I got double. I can beat that bot lane blind, like on my own. I could be like Doug, pick Pike, roam every second. Don't even stay bot. Fuck your support item. Start a fucking just an assault rifle, bro, and go around killing motherfucker. And I'll just chill in the bot lane and I'll outfarm everyone and win the game, bro. I'll get 5 towers bot. I'll take 3, give him 2 back, and take those 2 again, bro. Easiest game of my life. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Hell yeah.
Okay, because I don't mean much of it.
All right, so I think they're on a 3-game winning streak right now, off of starting with them beating TL, losing to TSM right before that. They beat CLG, which I don't really call a win in anyone's book.
No.
And then they also beat Dignitas, who was looking pretty good at the beginning of this week. Now, Keith has been looking decent on playmaking supports like Thresh and Nautilus. What do you guys think about
Keith
that?
Keith is crazy.
Keith's crazy. Matt, you want to go off about Keith? This is like the one time I think you're going to be able to do this.
My boy Keith done did it again. Because he's never failed. He's a fucking genius. What were you going to say, Haymont? I'll get on my Keith high horse in a minute, but I want Haymont to have a chance to speak before I just shout for a while.
Don't worry, I'll bring it back around to him. But first, GG has been the one team that has just really doubled down on this Diana in the mid lane. And honestly, they're making it look kind of alright. Just taking the Rod of Ages, just taking the Mercury Treads, having it a bit more tanky, not completely squishy, so that maybe, close and Golden Glue can get a couple kills in those skirmishes and get a couple advantages. It's been looking good. I want to see more of it. I don't know how good it actually is, but it's nice. It's new. It's refreshing. And then, after all, looks like Keith and Closer are getting some good going on. Did you see the Dignitas game? Well, yes, you saw the Dignitas game.
Well,
But
the
more
question is, was I
specifically,
paying attention to the
No is the answer.
did you see what they did to Afromoo?
They weren't nice to him.
Afromoo kind
They
of
weren't. But
ran it down.
Afromoo went, ha, I don't need to care about y'all at all. And Keith went, I got a death sentence for you.
I'll be honest, this game felt a little slow to me. Like, it didn't feel like a lot was happening. The GG Dig game.
Oh yeah, it was really slow.
Like they would kind of get picks here and there, but besides
It felt
that,
very uneventful.
like I think in my time notes I have like 2 fights. I'm sorry, I have 3 fights total, and each of them, one of them is like right back to back, and another one happens 15 minutes after the second one. So it's just GG just kind of choked them out, which is how I like to play the game. Nice and slow, choking them. Really feel it as the hope leaves their faces. Sorry, what? They also got an Infernal Drake, which kind of just sealed the deal real quick.
Oh, that's black.
I have this game. I just FBI and Keith are looking a lot better, and Closer's looking a lot better too. Golden Glue hasn't really felt like he stepped up, and neither has Hollinger. But the other 3, I'm really liking how much they've grown in this short time, and if they can keep it up, they might be able to make playoffs. If some might.
Keith is getting their guaranteed.
Keith is getting their guarantee. I just want to say, FBI, even if it's losing games, well, he played decently. He's never really had a chance, but this time he does.
They look better than Stixay and Smoothie. Mostly
Yes,
because
they do.
everyone looks better than Stixay and Smoothie, but they had
Yeah,
Yumi.
everyone looks better than Sticks.
Yes, they
And
do.
I think Yumi put up a better fight than Dignitas. Or, I'm sorry, Afromoo did. Just
Yes.
saying.
Although, oh man, that game, the CLG did steal a lot of Drakes.
So it didn't matter. This game's
No,
only
but
26
still,
minutes.
that's not
What did I
great.
miss?
What?
Yeah.
They closed out this game in 26 minutes. Is CLG just like a speed run? Is that what's happening here?
Jesus
They're
Christ. The game ended really abruptly.
That I.
Golden Guardians got Baron and then basically just pushed to win.
Oh yeah. They pushed to win, and then didn't they get like all 3 inhibs instantly?
No, they got one bot lane and then just ended. They went bot lane, got the inhib after winning a fight, killing 4 or 5 people. The only guy on CLG left was Smoothie. They took the inhib and then they just ended the game. Like they literally went Baron, mid, bot, win a team fight, inhib, end the game. Like in like 2 minutes, if that.
So we're back into the season 7 ways of ending League of Legends, I see.
Yeah, they literally just like they won a single team fight and we're like, sick, it's over. Like,
so
that's it.
what is the build for Kai'Sa right now? Because FBI went for the tier build. That's still good, or like is that the
Yeah, it's still good.
Or, like she hasn't switched over to crit like everyone else has.
No, she can go crit, but it depends upon what you want to go. And also remember, they changed crit, so some of the champions that could go crit when Stormrazor was really broken don't anymore, or don't succeed as hard.
Yeah, you can't stack 4 crit cloaks anymore.
Oh, but he's going
hey,
AP.
Mom, do you hear me? You can't stack 4 crit cloaks anymore.
He's going AP Kai'Sa, so then if you're going AP Kai'Sa, then tier is for sure the build.
Yeah.
So if you go AP, you go.
This is more on hit.
Yeah, but it's the AP on hit build. That's what you do.
So you go like.
If you start tier, you go tier Ginsu, Stinger, or like or Nash, Zonias, and then like Rabadons, right? Like that's just what you do.
Oh yeah.
That's
This is the.
that's actually a build I was practicing because when I thought Doug was our mid laner and we were getting a lot of AD mids, I was like, I need to be able.
What are you talking about?
He played Aurelia. But the thing is I was like, well, I should like learn the AP Kai'Sa build because it's still good, and I'm not very good at mages. So I picked this up for AP. Anyway, it's really
At that
good.
point,
It's really good still.
she's like an assassin at that point. You just
Nope.
drop a W, you hit something, bam.
No.
No.
She needs to auto attack 6 times for that Ginsu to be stacked.
So what do you guys think about the rising of Sejuani in the league?
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. They made her an insane tank. She's always good in LCS when she's decent because she's extremely powerful for team fights. They made her a really good scaling resist tank. Like, she's nuts.
And they
What do
both
you want?
trundle at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, this is just our jungle for a while now and competitive.
So now here's the big question: should we make Dion play
No.
it?
Ooh.
It's only good in competitive formats where you practice it.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Can Meteos play it again?
Can Meteos figure out how the fuck to play League of Legends again? I can't tell if Meteos is bad right now, or if he just keeps getting screwed. I just can't.
Oh,
tell.
he's bad. After that
Bad?
FlyQuest game, he's bad right now. That's
I don't know that I trust Haymon's calls anymore. By anymore, I mean ever.
because it was on Ryoma that game, but in that FlyQuest versus 100, either he missed so many ultis. It was very bad.
You did a good Xmithy cosplay.
It was- It looked like
Shut
it.
I'm never letting it die.
Yeah, no. That game was not a good for either Ryoma or Meteos, but specifically Meteos there as well.
Someday, he's in a bad spot on that.
Yes.
Someday, he needs to go to better
Someday
places.
knows how it is.
What
to
did you
play
just
on a
say, Haymon?
shitty team.
He needs to go to better places. I'm sorry about that.
You telling my boy Sunday to go to a farm upstate, bro?
He
Like,
needs to get a mid laner who's not from OCG.
No, that's not. He's not going to die.
no, I meant retire.
That's not what's going.
We're in the retirement
No,
home, Matt. Haven't you heard?
Just a better team.
LCS is the retirement home.
Oh.
Hang on.
That's true.
Haven't you seen that HTC commercial?
What?
Ah man,
Whatever.
that was a great one.
Let's move on to our next topic, which is our match preview for next week. Matt was the victor of our picks from last week, so will you do us
Buckets.
the honor of leading this discussion? Matt.
Yeah, sure. So we're just gonna go right down the list, boys. We're talking about next week.
Yeah.
100 Thieves TSM. All 3 of us picked TSM here.
I mean, you don't have to go down the list game for game. We just
well, we literally all agree on every single thing except for one.
all right.
So
That means we're putting down the gauntlets.
yes, it means Anthony and I have challenged Haymont. Anthony and I have picked evil geniuses to beat Team Solo Mid. I would like to hear Anthony on this because TSM is his team. And I'm largely picking this just to beef with Haymont.
I'm banking on TSM being stupid and picking something aggressive and losing.
You know what? As of recently, fair.
Haymont? Give me hope.
You want? Why do I have to be the one to give you hope?
Because you
in
picked
this?
TSM.
All right. Well, the thing is that EG looks good with the lead. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's all I want to say for them because they've also had those questionable plays. For example, in the C9 game. Yes, you're against C9, but there was that one moment where Jizuke flashed to try to kill Niski. He flashed on Rumble in order to try to get Niski. At the same time, Svenskeren was going, I want out. We got his flash. We're done here. And because of that, Licorice came down, killed them both, and that was a wrap for the game. EG's not the best team fighting team. EG knows what to do with the lead when they're all clearly on the same page. I don't think TSM is going to give them that lead in the early. I do think TSM's the better skirmishing team with the Dark and Bjergsen being the better jungle mid duo. I do think that if TSM gets a lead, they can just secure it. As long as the only fault that they could have, the only way they could mess this up is if somehow in the mid game they make a drop somehow, which is reasonable. It's viable. We've seen it happen. But against a team like EG, even then, that's going to be impressively hard to do because EG themselves are not that very impressive in the mid game either.
So I'm looking at their last game against EG, and this is the game where Svenskeren inted his face off on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say inted his face off. This is the game where Broken Blade grabbed Svenskeren on Kindred and ulted him into TSM like 4 times to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is gonna be on. I think it's mostly on TSM not picking a stupid comp. I think TSM match up against them great, but if they keep picking early game comps and failing to close on them, they're gonna lose, and I think they'll keep doing it. I just don't think they're gonna lose to 100 Thieves with it because Meteos looks like he can't play against early game comps unless he gets a Miracle Steal on Elder.
It's true.
Unless he decides to wake up that day and go, fuck it, you're in my jungle, I don't give a damn. And all of a sudden just manages to go ham on Gragas. Otherwise, I don't know.
That's our disagreement.
That's the whole entire one.
Yeah, the one disagreement we've had this week. Alright, so what match are we all looking forward to next week? What do we think? It's our favorite matchup coming up. I'm looking forward to CLT C9 just because of the potential for that upset. Like, the probability is super low, but the potential for meme value, super high. How are you feeling, Matt?
Yes.
You scared? You scared for that matchup? Are you more nervous about the TSM match?
No, I'm more if C9 loses to TSM, fine. If C9 loses to CLG, I'm going to be very sad. And I think it's a lot harder for me to live that one down and defend that than it is for me to live down.
TL are gonna have to. They lost to GG when they were the de facto last.
I'm not a TL fan. I don't care. I don't.
All right. Hey, Mom,
I fear.
What game are you looking forward to? The
I'm
Fly
looking
CLG
forward
one for
to
the free win.
You see, there's one specific thing that I'm looking for, and it's not reasonable. What I'm looking for is how Turtle is going to get someone. I don't know how he'll do it. I don't know when he'll do it. But if you give this man a lead, if he's just stomping in a game, he's going to figure out a way to do it.
Wait, to do what?
To what, int?
To just either int or somehow get him killed. Did you see? Because it's just something that this man can do. And
I mean, all they have to do is pick Yumi.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Okay. I want to talk about this a little more. Okay. Did you see in that Fly Quest versus 100 T where Santorin took that one kill from Turtle and Turtle getting any goal? I'm going to go solo push that top lane tier 2, almost dies for it, and then Santorin has to pay for his sins. Because I saw that and I was like, Santorin knew this was going to happen somehow. He didn't know when, he didn't know how, but this man knew.
Hey, Mott, I feel like I need to tell you. That's what it feels like every time you try to come up with a play.
Yes.
Fair.
You are Wild Turtle. Sans the 4 accounts in the top 5 challenger.
And and the mechanics and the decision making.
All right, Matt, what match are you looking forward to that isn't the CLG C9 match? Because I know you're not looking forward to that one. You dread that
No,
one.
I am not. It's either going to be an easy dub or the worst night. I don't even know. This seems like a pretty bland week.
Does it?
I mean, like no, but also yeah.
I think the IMT C9 game's looking pretty good.
That's true. I'm excited for CSM EG because I'm excited to see whether once again Haymont defeats the two of us in head-to-head combat. I'm looking forward to TL versus Dig on the fucking shockingly large chance that TL gets clapped by Dignitas. You know, that'll be cool. Yeah.
Actually, I kind of want to change my look. I'm looking forward to CLG C9 for the memes. I'm looking forward to IMT C9 because I think that is gonna be the best game next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like IMT's looking like they're growing, and C9 looks like they're waiting for someone to beat them. And if it's not CLG, maybe it's IMT.
If it's CLG, it better not be CLG.
If it's CLG and IMT, I'm gonna laugh and say G2 has arrived in NA.
I'm not going to the podcast next week if that happens.
You should just come up wearing a clown mask, and it's just like
I'll get like white face hand. No, I'm gonna get a balaclava. You know what I'll do is I'm gonna get a balaclava, pixelate my camera even more, and get a voice change, like a voice changer. Like, I don't know what happened. I just saw the crime occur. I saw the double robbery.
There was a
double robbery. The script writers don't know what they've done.
Oh, man.
I'm out of topics, man.
You want to take us home, buddy?
All right, I think I will, and hope nobody interrupts me this week. That'll do it for this week on the Legendary League of Legends podcast. You can catch us every week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/Nizzy2K11. You can catch the VODs on the YouTube channel Legendary Podcasts. Have a nice day.
Oh.